So speed control is really very, very important in putting. So is there some drills that you guys can share as to how to improve speed control?
Well, a lot of it is feel, right? It depends on the player. There's some players that are more methodical to what they do. In my case, I'm just feel. And I know Jason's talked about it before, and you know, I'll let him do it, but it's just, in my case, forget the speed. It's just longer putts, trying to get those longer putts.
That's actually a really good point. I feel when my speed gets out is when I start to think too much about the speed.
So how do you get your speed back then?
So
what's the
getting more into your subconscious and reacting to a target? Like I don't know how hard to hit a 30-foot putt, but if you give me a target 30 feet away, I'll know what to do to hit it at that. So that's my. But obviously you can have a putter that helps, or I went to a softer ball as well, the TP5 instead of the TP5X. That helped my speed control too.
So how about visual aids? Like we have TruePath on Spider X here, and some of you have lines, some have no lines.
I'd say one of the big things for me as well with Spider compared to the Soto I was using, the face is shallower, so I'm hitting it more out of the middle of the putter face more consistently. And then if anything, I align it. My bad habit would be to align it slightly out of the toe. So to have the white, to have the white channel and then also the long black line, it helps me center the ball in the middle of the putter face more often. And then obviously a more consistent strike is going to lead to better speed.
So on the opposite side between Jason, John, you don't use a line.
No,
Why?
I'm terrible with lines.
I don't either.
Honestly,
You don't either, right?
No.
and anytime I have lines, to me, it looks like you're 10 minutes left.
Do you use a
What
line
did
on
you
the
say?
golf ball?
No.
What did you say?
Well, I'm the same, but when I got a
I
line, I try to line the putt up with the line instead of my feel.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? I get focused.
100%.
Obviously, there's days where I'm not doing it, and that's when I'm putting well. But when I say miss a couple putts, then all I'm worried about is making sure I got this thing lined up perfect instead of just kind of seeing it, feeling it, getting in there, and just stroking it to how I think it should be.
Yeah.
But that's just because visually, when I see the line, that's all I want to do is use it.
So there are two different types of putting, right? You've got linear and you got non-linear, right? So some guys use a line, some don't. So do you guys use a line on the ball?
No, I put
No
the white
line?
of the ball down. I don't want to have anything.
Okay. Matt, how about Collin?
I didn't used to use a line at all. I used to just put like TaylorMade down or whatever the logo was. But I've realized that the last couple months I've actually putted better with using the line, because for me, if you take the time to line it up correctly and get comfortable with a line over the ball, I feel like I have a lot more confidence in where I'm aimed and everything like that. Whereas it's kind of hard to just feel with my body, at least for me, knowing when you have 20 feet, it's kind of hard to know exactly where you're lined
So I think
up.
there's two different types of putter. There's someone that is more of an external cue person, which sounds more like John or myself, DJ, or an internal cue, which is more getting into your own little world here, the line and sort of.
Yeah.
But because when I've sort of went on and off using the line, but anytime I use the line, I struggle with my speed because I'm so into what I'm doing here and I lose connection with the target. So there's two different trains of thought.
There's very few cases where I'll use a line, and that's if I've got a 20-footer and I know it's really, really straight. Sometimes I'll try to, just because I know I'm not going to be able to line it up.
In my case,
if you give me a 20-footer breaks 5 feet, I can line it up. But the straight one.
I'm completely incapable of aiming that line to the spot I want. So
I can't do it, but I use a short
so
because I mark it through the TaylorMade logo, not the arrows.
Yeah.
So I make a shorter line, and it's when I put a long line, I get so lost. I don't know where.
I actually noticed that for me. I used to draw a big line, and recently, the last 2 months, I just have literally been using that. I haven't even been using anything that's been a short line, and I've actually been it's way easier to line it up.
I don't mind the little on the TP5. It's got the really short.
That's what I
it's
mean.
Perfect, because then you can't tell where it's aimed anyways.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
take us through about a 30-foot putt here, 35-foot
Go
putt
ahead, Rory.
here.
Lead the
Let's
way.
take a look
Okay,
at
man.
how you use TruePath here, what you see here.
Yeah. So
And what-
I'm looking at a little bit of left to right. Yeah, I mean, basically, you're trying to visualize what the you're trying to visualize what this ball is going to do. So I'm trying to get the line. So say I want to hit this, I don't know, whatever it is, 2.5 feet left. So I'm sort of picking a spot up by the hole, and then I'm tracking it back to the ball to where I think that needs to be.
Wait.
So then I've picked the spot here,
Don't interrupt him.
and I sort of pick a spot a few inches in front of the ball, and then I just line up to that. That was a little low.
See, I can't.
So hold on, you
See, I
pick a
don't do
spot
that.
like up near the hole, then
Yeah.
track it
Yeah.
back. Okay.
Yeah. So I
honestly, I can't tell you what I do because I just go back and I just see
I
it.
track it like
my
there,
God,
and then
there.
it's okay, perfect.
Hey, and honestly, there is a difference for me.
Right here.
Once it gets to
And I got it.
a length putt like this, I don't think I'll line it up because it's like.
So you don't want to hole it, Wolfie? That's perfect there. Go.
But when I'm but on a putt
But see,
from like
but
20
there's
to 20,
I haven't thought about speed at all. All I've tried to do is visualize the roll and visualize the break,
And how you want it to- I look
those
at-
two putts are perfect speed.
Like where you want it to enter the hole, and yeah.
So Jace, I've seen you at a tournament and I've seen you, Collin, at tournaments go through a drill. Louisiana last year, I stood and watched you for a 20-foot putt and you had a alignment stick.
It was 30 feet and,
Okay.
and 15
So,
feet.
but that's a pace drill.
Yes.
So talk us through that. Like you haven't mentioned that yet in this whole conversation, and I'm surprised that you haven't gone there with that.
Why's that?
Because it's a pace conversation, it's a pace drill. Would you
Well,
not?
yeah, I mean, anyone got tees? So let's just hypothetically, we're going here. You know, we're doing a 5-pace drill, and then I step 2 feet out behind the cup. If I'm stepping off 5 paces, you know, because I go 5 paces and 10 paces. Put a tee down, and then I'll hit 30 balls from it. But the goal is to have the speed of the putt going exactly the same every single time. If not, I'm trying to hit it this far past every single time. If I
So
get it
somewhere in between the hole and the tee. Really.
somewhere, if I hit it in between here and here, but no, you got to understand. If I hit it here, then I hit it here. There's a chance it'll miss the hole. So I'm
So
trying
why
to.
wouldn't you put your tee right there?
Because no, and that's that's perfectly
just
understandable.
ask it.
No, it's perfectly understandable because if I do it right here, then I'm dying it and it's going.
You leave
here.
them short. Yeah.
I'll leave them short.
So
So the goal.
You want to leave it short of the tee.
I want to like
Halfway,
if
yeah.
that's a foot, I want to hit it a foot past every single time.
Okay.
And like going back to Rory's conversation earlier, that his speed with the putter, his speed has got so much better this year, and that's why your lines
Same.
have come in. That's why you putted better. You've won 4 times.
Yeah.
So
see,
that's the goal.
I
is to
just
hit it a
look.
foot past every
Yeah.
single time.
And then Collin, I saw you in Napa in particular is where I'm thinking you had a
Too high,
station
but-
set up.
I had
15.
tees.
Pulled the
Yeah, I
shit
went
out of
What
like
was the thinking
10,
there?
15, and then I went 20 and 30. That's literally just to get my speed. So I'll go both ways. Like I'll start at one spot, hit like 4 or 5 balls, and just to get the speed, just so I know.
To the tees, not to a
pace
hole.
off. I pace off all my putts,
And that's
and
ju-
it's not
Do you?
just. Yeah, it's not just to like. It's not because like, oh, I'm gonna hit a 30-foot putt. This is exactly how I'm gonna hit it. But it's just like in my head. And I think
the same
college.
way.
I think college almost got like me doing that because we had to do all the stats and everything. But it's just now I just know, just to know, I've got, you know, my paces, a 35-foot putt or whatever.
Okay.
My dad told me like that. Is like you pace it off and then let your body feel it. So I do pace it off and I count it in my head without thinking about it, and then I hit it.
But on that drill, you're putting to tee pegs, right?
I'm trying to get it to exactly to the tee.
So that brings in flag stick, no flag stick. Has that made a difference to any of you guys having a flag
No
stick
flag.
option?
I
don't
can't
like
put
it.
the flag in.
I hate the
I mean,
flag
if we've
stick.
done this, if we've done the same thing for 20 years, and
Or
then all of
more.
a sudden, or more, and all of a sudden you've
The
you've
old
got this
guys here.
choice. So like it's
To me,
I'd
the
much,
hole
I'd
is
much
smaller.
rather.
Yeah, me too.
It does, yeah. It feels like there's not as much room. Yeah, I all day. Unless like the only reason I'd keep the flag in is if I just tell my caddy, no, it's okay. You don't need to like tend it.
Yeah. Like on
That's
longer
the
putts
only.
and stuff.
That's the only time I leave one in is when I can't see the hole, but I'm gonna have the caddy tend it instead of having him stand up there and bother me. I just.
I can't hit it from
Leave the
3
flag.
feet with the pin in. Like,
Trotty, I think another drill that works on, you know, he paces it off. I think another drill that, like, if someone doesn't pace off, they're more of a field player. If you stand from here and you
Just
hit
try
a
to head
putt-
to the edge of the green.
Well, that or, like, I close my eyes. Like, you close your eyes.
And you
because
try
then,
to feel what it's.
yeah, what you feel what it is, and then you're, like, throwing your awareness of what the putt is, the speed you're trying to do, or the speed you're trying to get into the hole. You know, so if I'm standing here, and I haven't read the putt, but I'm assuming this is. I'm trying to hit the putt, see it roll, the speed that I need to, and then I close my eyes, and then that really determine, like, I'll hit a few putts with it, determine if I'm.
And then will you try to think, okay, I hit that too hard, too soft?
Yeah, so that's exactly. So it gives you immediate feedback.
Yeah.
And then that's another way you can.
I don't even know if I can hit it.
A little bit.
What do you see on the Pro-Ams with all the golfers that you play with?
It's got to be short. No,
Are they mostly short?
I would say
that was better speed than I was.
I think it's just so inconsistent.
Yes.
Because they don't strike it out of the middle of the putter face. I mean, even like our patterns, when we go and we see you guys in Carlsbad, they're pretty tight, but they're still not coming out of the same place every time. You know, there's a little bit of variability, but then with amateurs, that's even more. So then you want to have as much stability in the head and you know, as much.
So with a spider, putter in that deep, yes, the rollout by hitting, being inconsistent, your speed maintains.
Exactly.
So for most golfers, having a spider type putter or mallet style putter is beneficial.
Definitely. Well, I think so. I mean, I've always tried to be a traditionalist in terms of like my golf and use blades and use like, you know, what pros should use. But when you have technology like this, then it helps you so much. I'm wondering why I didn't go to a putter like this years ago, because I mean I've had my best putting season ever, and you know a big part of it is this.
I've always had a big putter, so I don't know if.
Well, I'm kind of the same. My first 10 years on tour, I putted with a blade.
Yep.
Yeah, I won, but I was very inconsistent, and a lot of it had to do with putting. You know, I didn't hit it any different. You know, my wedge game's gotten a little better, but really my putting stats have improved since I've gone to a mallet, you know, the spider. Obviously I've putted with the spider. Some version of a spider I've putted with for, you know, the last 4 years maybe, I think. So last 3 years, but.
How about a left eye, right eye dominant? You guys?
I'm right eye.
I'm right.
Yeah, so like I if anything, because I'm right, I like to stand a little more open because you can see down the line a little bit.
That sounds like me. So yeah, I'm probably right.
I'm left.
Okay, this is a test.
You're left? That's all, it's almost nice to be a right-handed golfer and left, because you look through high, like us with right, so much harder.
Do you go like this or you like that when you look at?
When I'm looking down the line?
Yeah. You
I don't even.
Your head a little bit like that.
No, I don't even focus on it.
Yeah, because I'm holding at your face right now.
What Jason does is he always looks at the like you visualize it.
Yeah.
Like when you're over the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do behind the ball. Like I see a path.
Yeah. And do you try and pick something out in front and then just hit it?
I don't know. I don't like what Rory did. I don't do that.
Yeah.
I literally see a path.
Yeah.
And I just try going over that path.
Hit over that path.
It's like if you're gonna roll toilet paper out there, I'm just trying to roll it over that.
Yeah, I see this. I visualize the same.
Yeah, I can't hit that little spot. My speed will get bad up that.
Really?
Yeah.
Typically, my
But it makes sense.
Just I align. That's just what's easy for me.
Like I look at it from here with a spot, it's wrong.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's wrong. Like it's never in the right.
So you go one spot.
Yeah, I've just got it there, so I'll line it up to it. Like, yeah, I'm good.
So when you look at the hole, are you just looking at your spot?
I'm just looking at the hole.
You're just looking at the hole?
Yeah, and sort of that's just the speed, and then I'm just making a stroke. Yeah.
So when you look, you're looking like you first look at your spot or whatever.
So when I walk into it, I'm like, okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm looking okay. It's whatever it is.
Whatever to the right
3 cups to the right of the hole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, then I match that up. So I've got my spot here that I'm trying to match it up to.
So once you align that, then that's.
I'm set.
Yeah. And then now you're looking at the hole. You're not looking at that spot to the right of the hole.
No.
Looking at the spot early, because you can line up on it.
Yeah, because you already lined up, so now you're just thinking.
So yeah, you're already lined up on it, so you just make.
What about greens like Augusta or somewhere where there is no spot?
Yeah, there is though. You can always find something.
Okay, maybe not.
Like a little blade of grass. There's obviously greens that it's easier to pick.
It's close enough though for you.
It's close enough.
It's not like he's picking it halfway.
It doesn't. Whatever stands out to me, that is in line with the read that I have. So it could be a foot. It could be 3 feet. It just whatever stands out. but I'm way better at aiming to a target that's closer than I am to a target that's farther away. Thanks. It's a fast putt down there.
Yeah, no, luckily I've hit the hole.
I know.
It's a good stroke though.
So what?
I think the conversation is about Spider. That's the conversation.
Yeah.
I think it just.
If you look at, I mean, I'm just saying,
I mean,
most of
I
our
think-
guys are in Spider.
Yeah, but it's so funny. Some are no line, some are with line. So
Yeah.
for me, I've found it way easier to align properly with the line.
Yeah.
So how?
Everyone just hits some putts. I think.
Yeah. So how would the golfers find? They go in a shop right now, and there's so many putters, lines, no lines, different houses. How do they find the right putter for them?
To me, I would get 3 feet from the hole.
The black one.
I mean, because if you think about most of your putts is within 5 feet, maybe get 5 feet, and just hit a couple putts and see which one you can start online the most consistent.
So you would go short.
Yes, short,
Versus-
not long.
For strokes gained on the PGA Tour is really between 6 to 18 feet.
Right.
But for the average golfer, for all the golfers out there,
But
it's probably 30 to 40
the
feet.
reason, like the difference though between a 4 handicap and a 10 handicap generally is putting.
Right.
You know, or
Just
you
hitting
know,
it closer to the,
well,
possibly
it-
closer to the pin a little bit. Like
not
you're hitting it
necessarily. If you
closer.
watch though, like a 3 or 4 handicap can putt, you know, or where you get a 12 or 13 handicap, generally not very good putters. What do you do for short putt? Just in general. But you know, they're going to hit it close to the same. Yeah, the 13 is going to have good days, but on average, that the 4 handicap is good putting. You know, their speed control is good. They putt good from inside 5 feet.
So you'd recommend them to go in and hit some short
Just short
putts.
putts.
What-
I mean, if you watch most pros, most all of us, we work on 10 feet and in. That's it.
Right.
When you line up putts, you don't use line, do you?
Like I line it up with the TaylorMade, but it's not like
Since if you get in different positions, not
It's
too
not
close to
like-
each other.
I was about to go over there.
Legend.
he was asking me a
Just
question.
keeping, make sure it's going. I'm
We're
getting in the
we're
air. here, lads.
conversing.
I'm
Charlie.
getting in the air.
Like I use the TaylorMade. Like you know how I mark it? You mark it the
Yo,
same way,
yeah,
don't
yeah,
you?
yeah. I don't
I
mark
put
it that way.
down, but for some reason when I mark it, when I put it like that compared to the line, it looks different to me.
Really?
So when you go to a tour event like this, and let's say you're just warming up before the round, what might be the pre-warm-up? Would you use 3 balls, 1 ball?
I always start with the drill.
Yeah, I always start with
First
the
thing I
mirror.
do.
Usually get on the mirror for 5 minutes just to check everything's okay.
I put tees in 4 different spots, 3, 4, 5 feet, and make them all in a row pretty much. If I miss, I go back.
How about you, Jace?
What's that?
Pre-tournament round, if this is the situation, you're going to tee off in 10 minutes. What are you doing now on the putting green? 1 ball, 3 balls?
2 balls to start, and I hit like 30 footers, then I go to 15 footers, and then I go 10, 6, 3. And then when I get down to like 3,
That's the
6
last
to
thing
3
you do
feet,
right
I make
before
sure
you
I
go
have my
out to
caddy
play.
behind me, making sure I'm starting it on line.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean,
like
if
you
it's
have
10
a- you
minutes,
have
so
a
what
routine?
usually a lot of guys will do
You hit
is
some short putts, some long putts to get feel of
they'll putt
distance,
first,
or-
like do their drills and stuff and putt for maybe 20, 25 minutes, then go hit balls and then do some short game and then come back to hit a few putts before you go to the tee. So I think
10 minutes, but what I just...
So
you mentioned mirror. What happens if you get on the mirror before a round and something's not where it needs to be or you're not comfortable?
well, you
Like
just
right there,
yeah,
will it freak you out? Or?
Well, no, not really. It's I mean, I guess the mirror is for. It's to try to set up the exact same every single time. So like I know where my eyes should be on that mirror, and yeah, some days it might feel a little different than others, but you know that this is the optimal position for you to hit putts from. So
Just gives you more confidence.
yeah.
For the first time right before you're about to go play.
No, true. It's a checkpoint, right?
Right. That's what, that's why we all used it, is to check. And so the first thing I do when I walk on the putting green before a round is use my mirror or alignment stick and hit. I hit like 6 footers. I might hit 15 right to left, 15 left to right, and then
I get it.
Sure, my long start on line, and then I go to the range.
So John, you're such like a feel guy and an artist with all this. Do you don't do mirror before a tournament round?
No, I don't.
And do you do one ball before a tournament round?
No. Well, when I do that drill, I have one ball, just to replicate the feel of making the putts. But that's the first thing I do before I warm up anything. Usually Adam has a drill set, and I just go with the ball and do it.
And
then-
that's his choice. It changes, or your choice on what drill it is.
No, it's just that drill always.
Okay.
And he figures out where to put it. Sometimes there's more breaks, sometimes there's less, and I do that, and I won't leave until I finish it, which usually it doesn't take that long, and that's usually kind of what helps me. He tries to find a hole in a slope, and I have a right to left putt, left to right, uphill and downhill, and that, you're moving around, it helps me set myself.
Just dialing in feel.
In my case, with mirrors and all those, let's say, gadgets, I always set up correctly with the mirror, and when I have lines, but then when I don't have them, I don't always do what I do with the mirror, so that's why I don't use them.
Okay.
It doesn't give me a sense of security.
And then Collin, you played a lot of different tournaments this year from what you've played in previous schedules, because you've obviously gone rookie season on tour, things like that. Has that changed the way you've thought things through? Because new venues, new locations, new putting greens, new grass.
Yeah, I think for me, like I've got to adjust quicker, because I don't know what to expect at every place.
So did you do anything differently this season?
No, I mean, I just really, when I got to the course, like on a Monday, if I'm tired especially, like I'll just go out and putt. And like we've talked about it forever, like speed is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Even
Now,
if you're off.
It's interesting you say that, because obviously we've got inserts in these putters. Everyone's using inserts. Has that helped speed control, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, about a year ago, I went softer, just like Rory said. And I think having a softer face, it allows you to you don't have to be so tentative. You can just stroke it.
Yeah.
And even with the softer ball, like the TP5, like it just feels, it's not like it's coming off where you don't know where it's like a marshmallow.
How about you, Dustin? Dustin, inserts, has that given anything to you?
Well, I think the inserts, obviously, you get them. I mean, it's more with the mishits. Obviously, a good stroke and good strike with a metal with no insert putter rolls really good. But if you off center just a hair, it doesn't roll very good. But the insert helps a lot with the mishits, where it's consistent every time, no matter where you strike.